the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
Frustrates me. So these guys have got to get in there and practice the month of August. And we'll see what that tempo looks like. But you're exactly right. 4 new offensive linemen, a new center. Maybe it's a work in progress. Maybe you're not as fast as you're probably not. Usually you're fast to begin and then you slow it down as the year goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is flipped because you got all that newness up front. Maybe you're at a decent pace to begin, but it's only going to get faster as the year goes along. I can see that happening.
Final thing, we'll get you out of here, Eric Cain. Mike Matthews. Like, we're looking in our crystal ball. Biletnikoff finalist. Do you see it for him this year?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that's no disrespect to him at all, but I've got to see this offense get back to where it was in terms of the explosives before I think anybody, Nico Heisman finalist, Matthews, Biletnikoff, I mean, anybody. I've got to see this offense thrive in those explosive plays. And so I'm going to say no, but that does not mean I don't think Mike Matthews can be a good player. I think he's going to be the leading receiver. I think his speed has never been an issue. His physicality has been his strength. I'm ready to see that combination kind of come full circle, and let's see him kind of utilize those, in a given game this year. So I'm excited to see what he looks like. I'm also excited to see Chris Brazzell because I truly do believe. I mean, there's only one way, and it's up for him. From last year, I think being here another year, excelling in the practicing in the system and all that, it's only going to help him, just like it helped Dante Thornton. So I think the offense, the passing game will be better because I think Nico's going to be a lot better as well. But I'm going to hold off on the Biletnikoff for Mike Matthews right now. Doesn't mean I don't think he'll be a good player, but I'm going to hold off on
that. I think that's fair. Here's what I'll say. I think it's possible. I think he's going to get a bunch of targets. I think my gut is he is going to be used how he's going to have the relationship to Nico that Hendon had to Cedric Tillman.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get targeted a bunch. Like, I think he's going to get the option. Like, so if he does what he needs to do with these targets and this responsibility that he's going to have this year, he can absolutely be a Biletnikoff finalist because Tennessee doesn't have options. Like, you talk about Brazzell. Like, Brazzell, I want, like, poor man's Dante Thornton. Like, if I will live with that. Like, with more snaps because I don't have the bodies. Like, just more snaps than Dante gave you last year for Chris Brazzell. But, like, if you just have a couple games where you flip the script, like the Vanderbilt game, like Dante Thornton bailed you out. If Chris Brazzell just has a couple games where he has 2 touchdowns on, like, 5 catches for 110 yards, and then he disappears for a couple weeks, you're like, all right, that's fine. Like, that is what it is. Just give us something every couple games, or every 3 to 4, like on average, like every 3 to 4 games, like an Igor Milicic thing. He's the Olivier Cromwell, where it's just like every now and then we just need you to like help out the regulars.
It's bad, man. Like, 'cause I think he's got a whole lot of talent, but there's only 2, and maybe this is unfair. There's probably more, but there's only 2 plays that come off on the top of my head right now when I think of Chris Brazzell last year. Number 1, the touchdown against Alabama. Yep. That was big. Number 2, wasn't even a touchdown. It was a massive third down, and Tennessee was down 14-0 in the first quarter of Vanderbilt. Maybe they had already scored their first touchdown, but it was a massive third down. It was like 3rd and 10 or whatever, and it was a dig, and he came back like in between 2 defenders, went up and caught it and got hammered. Held on the football. Tennessee got a first down and went ahead and scored. Like, those are the only 2 plays I can remember from Brazzell. So to your point, I mean, yeah, he's got to turn it on a little bit, and it would be unrealistic because it's a different skill set. I mean, Dante Thornton was an absolute burner. Like, not that Brazzell's not fast, but Thornton was a burner. It's a bit of a different skill set. But if you can give you more snaps but half the production, yeah, sign me up. I'll take that too.
I mean, you look at it. Last year was Travis Hunter, McMillan from Arizona, Nick Nash from San Jose State were the 3 finalists. It's kind of surprising that no Ohio State receiver was a finalist, but I don't know. I think Matthews is going to get the Cedric Tillman look, is my gut. I think you're going to see in Syracuse, if they spam the Mike Matthews button against Syracuse and Mercedes-Benz, where I'll be in the building for him. Excited for that. A reason to go back home to Atlanta for that game. But I do think you're going to see we're going to do a pod, Eric Cain, that week after and be like, oh, did you look at the targets by Mike Matthews? Mike Matthews has 17 targets in the Syracuse game because they have they just keep spamming it. Like, they're just throwing to Mike. And he's such a good, go ball guy. Like, that's the thing is he's not as big as Cedric, but he's bigger than you think, and he plays above his size. Where he mossed a guy in spring practice. He had that big up and over catch in the red zone against Kent State, I want to say. One of the best catches of the year. Like, he has that go ball potential and is someone that I don't think is going to shy away from those kind of targets. And Tennessee hasn't had somebody like Cedric Tillman in a while. I just think that's the relationship he's going to have with Nico, is Nico is going to trust him and go at him a bunch.
I'm down to have that podcast, because that means Tennessee probably found some explosive plays in Tennessee. Yeah. I'll never forget sitting up there in that press box at Acrisure Stadium, the old Heinz Field, and
we're calling it Heinz Field.
I'm
We're
like,
not
damn, how many times has he thrown it at Cedric Tillman? I looked down and I was like, 21 times. What? Like, he had like I want to say 13 or 14 receptions, 21 targets. Like, Jalen Hyatt had 13 targets in that game too. He only had 6 receptions, but it's like, man, they just threw it and threw it and threw it and threw it. And I remember Golish, we spoke to him a couple days after that, like inside the facility when he was walking in and out, and like, what is up with going to Tillman so much? He's like, that's our guy. I know for a fact he can go win us a game. We're going to go back to our guy repeatedly. Go back to our guy. That's Hendon's guy. That's our guy. And I was like, okay, I get it. So,
he's never gotten what if. Like, if he doesn't get hurt, like, what does that look like on that stupid? What's that Kent State? Was that Akron?
It was Akron
game. Would have been nice to have him fully healthy for the Georgia game.
Yeah, it's not funny, but it's interesting because, like, Ramel Keaton balled out. Like, Ramel Keaton came in and he straight up balled out. And so, like, good for Keaton. But yeah, like, what could have been for Cedric Tillman, because he was never healthy enough the rest of the way, and it was unfortunate. But boy, did he make him some money here at Tennessee. Known as nothing but a blocking wide receiver for all the Pruitt years, and then in 2021, it's like, oh wow, look at this guy. Oh, that's a legit NFL prospect.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.